My 29 parents have always been in financial trouble, something that I have never been able to understand because they both have a really generous salary, more than 3 times my own. Because of these financial troubles, my aunts, uncles, and grandma have had over the years to lend them money. We were evicted a couple of times, that I know. We have had the water, the electricity and the internet cut. Many things that over the years I admit have affected my emotional and mental health. All of this has made my relationship with my parents very difficult over the years, more when they would take advantage of me, making me pay for many things with the money that I earned working during holidays to pay for college, or making me call my grandma to ask her for money. All of it while my mom used to spend money whenever she could in purses or jewelry. At that moment I became an adult because they started to sign on the bills under my name without my permission, mostly because their credit was so bad that the companies wouldn't allow them to sign with their own names. When I figured it out, I asked them to stop, but they just lied about it and I just let it go because I couldn't deal with it. Fast forward to the present, because of the Rona situation, I was looking forward to the money from my income tax return, because my salary has gone down, so this money would have helped a lot. Instead, I received a letter from a courthouse saying that the money has been confiscated. I immediately phoned my mom and she said that she didn't know anything about it, but she will fix it. Since I don't trust her at all, I called the court myself, and then they explained me that during the last year there has been a process against me by a company I owe money from unpaid bills. All the papers had been sent to my parents and they had sign and take them. The debt was not paid with the money from the tax income, so part of my salary from now on will be confiscated too until it's fully paid. So my parents stole my identity to contract a bill under my name, didn't pay for it, and when the company claimed that debt through lawyers and a judge, they kept all the papers from me, which is also illegal, apparently waiting for all of it to be fixed by itself. My mother said that it was her right to put it under my name because I am her daughter and it is my duty to help with the family burdens. Since then, and after really nasty words from her side and my sisters, who says that I am ungrateful and selfish, I haven't spoken to them, and I am in the middle of a global pandemic with my salary already low, paying for a debt that it is not mine. My friends and boyfriend say that I should talk with the police and stop all of this because otherwise they will keep doing it, and I am afraid they will. So, would I be the idiot if I speak with the court, even if it means that my parents, 70 and 63, could go to jail? Not the idiot. This is identity theft. It is going to affect your credit, your ability to obtain certain kinds of work, rental housing, mortgages, student and other loans, etc. for a very long time. The longer you let them emotionally blackmail you into not dealing with this, the longer you postpone your own financial stability and security. The odds are very low that your parents will get jail time. You will be dealing with this for years and years to come. The sooner you start coping with it directly, the sooner things will begin to be straightened out. Not the idiot. This is fraud. You need to go online right now and put a credit hold on your SS# so that your parents can't take out any loans or sign up for any services which require a credit check in your name. It might be a good idea to contact the various credit bureaus also to find out what your next steps should be. Not the idiot. Take every step you can to clear your name. If your parents end up in legal trouble for breaking the law, that's on them, not on you. I also recommend you stop contact with your sister. Also going to add that your parents will almost certainly not go to jail. They'll get some sort of probation and probably be required to enter debt counseling or something. It's possible they'd be ordered to repay what they essentially stole from you, as well. But whatever happens, prison is a very unlikely outcome. So do what you must and get yourself clear and free. They don't get to ruin your life. If I'm wrong, let me know. I'm not going into too much detail, but this isn't the true extent of the things that have bothered me. Her sister's family was fine in the past, we got along. My wife is very close to her fam. But since the birth of my daughter, Jay, 2 years ago, they got a bit weird, at least emo. With the state of the world, I am a bit protective, so I'm more comfortable if Jay goes out with her mom, or me, and not extended relatives without either of us. I told them this. My wife agreed, but as soon as we got home from the hospital after the birth, the sister waited until I was in the bathroom, and then her and her husband put Jay in the buggy at 11 p.m. and went for a walk. Me and my wife had a bit of a dispute about this, as in my culture, you're not meant to take the baby out for no reason for 40 days, but my wife and her sister both said in our culture it's okay and disregarded me. Edit. My wife is Spanish and I'm South Asian, if that helps with context. Since then they've been oakish but have done some things that I'm not comfortable with. Her sister is almost constantly at our house showering our daughter with gifts, and said to my face that it's best if Jay learns her mom's side language, Spanish, and not any of my family's side language, because Spanish is more important as a lot of Jay's relatives in Spain don't speak English. Not even English. Just Spanish, which would make it hard for me to communicate with my own daughter as I don't speak it. I try my best to teach her both my lang and English as well, but my wife told me her sister showed discomfort at the idea. Her sister also said to my face that it's best if Jay isn't so attached to me, and constantly tries to get Jay's attention when she's clinging to me if we're at a gathering or she's camped out at our house. She also tries to teach Jay the Spanish word for dad rather than dad in my language, to my face. My wife sees no wrong with this since she's family, but is mildly annoyed she's over so much. I've been silent to avoid conflict up until now. The final straw for me was 3 days ago. I came home from work and her sister was over again, with Jay and her sons, and she were feeding Jay chocolates after 9 p.m. while my wife was in the kitchen away from the whole scene. We don't feed Jay sweets before bedtime or she doesn't sleep. I tried to tell them this, and she started baby talking Jay, not talking to me, saying in Spanish things like "Daddy's so mean, he doesn't give you chocolate, you're my baby now," and things like that. I admit I lost it a bit because I'm an essential worker and I'm already stressed, and I don't know what the hell her problem is. I fought the hell out her, then told my wife she either can't come over, or if she does she can't be alone with Jay, and or my wife needs to tell her to please respect our boundaries. My wife is telling me I'm an idiot, even though she's agreed in the past about these boundaries and that some instances were weird. Not the idiot, but your wife's behavior is super concerning, even more than your Sil. She should be on the same page as you. Taking her for a walk at 11 and feeding candy to her after 9 are crappy decisions all around, and your wife should know that. Never mind the language issue and her trying to make your daughter prefer her over you. You really need to sit your wife down and explain as calmly as you can why this stuff isn't okay. Not the idiot. Your sister-in-law is way out of line. Keep her out of your house and away from your daughter as much as possible. Teach your daughter English and your other language as well. It's your daughter. It's not your Sil's. If your wife doesn't not agree to keep Sil away from the child, tell her it's gotten to the deal-breaker stage. I am furious for what you are going through. Good luck to you. It sounds like your wife's sister doesn't like you, and is trying to disconnect your daughter from you. You're her father, of course she should be attached to you. I'm really concerned with how your wife is ignoring this and letting her sister treat you so poorly. You and your wife need to discuss very firm boundaries with her sister, and your wife needs to back you up. You're the father, and your authority trumps your wife's sister. Thanks for being an essential worker. Good luck. My 21 SIL, I'll call her Sarah, has been with my brother for about 6 years now. She is 38, my brother is 39. She's very beautiful and we all got on really well at first and did everything we could to make her feel welcome. She's made countless comments about me, but there's a character limit, so I'll just quote some here for reference. Your body is too misshapen for that dress. You sound like you've been smoking for the last 10 years. You should wear contacts for your dull eyes. Your oily skin bothers me. Have you considered lip fillers? I'll pay for you. Online relationships work best for you because they can't see you close up. She would only make the worst of the comments when we were alone, but once she got caught. My brother has a child, 6, from a previous relationship, and at one point he actually came in, pushed her away from me and said Sarah, me, is beautiful, stop talking about her looks. He was being sweet and jokey about it, but it made Sarah really mad. At one point, I caught my mom crying in the bathroom on one of our trips. My mom and dad broke up around 4 years ago, so Sarah used this against her a lot. I won't specify the situations, but these are some of the things she's said to my mom. You should consider getting butt implants now you're single, because you won't get a man with a flat cake like that. You shouldn't wear any foundation because you can really see every wrinkle in your skin and it makes you look older than you already are. But the worst was what she said in front of me and my nephew after that. My nephew gave my mom a hug and said, "Grandma, you're so beautiful," to which Sarah snorted and said, "Yes, beautiful apart from those yellow teeth." Skip to recently. My mom has been trying to get Sarah and my brother to bring my nephew down for a trip, but Sarah has been ignoring her. I checked mom's phone and realized that Sarah had been ignoring her messages randomly on and off for years now. I messaged my brother and asked him about it. He said Sarah had been trying to talk to mom but that she was being ignored. I knew this was a lie. I lost my patience. I told my brother everything about the comments. A few minutes later I got a message from Sarah saying that she was only trying to be a good sister to me and that she was heartbroken that I'd taken the comments the wrong way. She denied everything and said that it was best that I didn't visit her anymore. My bro told me I was selfish and that I can visit my nephew whenever I want, but that he and Sarah are done with me and my mom. I also found out a few hours ago that Sarah had been trying to persuade my mom to become a gold digger and gave her tips on how to give men just enough to keep them interested, get their money and then bail. Was I the idiot? My family thinks I'm lying and that my mom is enabling me to tear the family apart. Not the idiot, your SIL is a horrible bully and your brother isn't as innocent in this as he pretends. Obviously, he saw her be mean to you at least once and I wouldn't be surprised if he noticed what was going on with your mom or if his son told him something. He's been letting her be mean and I know choosing to enable her cruelty rather than deal with it head on. You aren't tearing the family apart. Sarah is. It's honestly just due to your good nature and your mother's low self-esteem that this hasn't happened earlier. Not the idiot, and this kind of high-level devious manipulation by your SIL sounds like it could be a movie of the week. As long as she can continue to snow your brother on what an angel she is and that you're a horrible, mean and spiteful person, things are never going to be smooth between you guys. I think eventually your brother will see her for what she is, and when that happens, try not to say, "I told you so." In the meantime, you'll just have to respect his wishes. I think you should leave it just at that. Those comments aren't even remotely normal from where I come from. She should have been shut down at first comment. If your brother is refusing to even consider what you're saying, don't let it get to you. Soon enough, he will realize, because if she can't pass her snide remarks to you or your mother, she would direct it towards your brother, and that's when he will know. Plus, it's great that you can still meet your nephew. He seems more intelligent and sensitive than both brother and SIL combined. So this happened around a week ago. I had a last-minute job interview and no one to look after my son, 2 years old, so I phoned my sister to ask if she could take him. She was busy but recommended a childminder, CM, that she uses, and luckily, or so I thought, she was happy to take him. I'd never met her before, but she was a registered CM and my sister used her, so I thought all would be fine. So I drop him off at her house with a lunchbox and tell her that we're a vegan family and that he's got enough food in there for the whole day. Everything seemed fine. Bit of background, he's been vegan all his life, so had never had any animal products. Not even 20 minutes later I get a panicked call from the CM saying that my son looks very unwell and had thrown up and that I needed to pick him up immediately. I phoned the place where I'm interviewing and explained the situation and headed back to pick him up. Around 5 minutes later she phoned me back again saying that he's now got a rash all up his back. Freaking out even more, I tell her I'll be there as fast as I can. So I get there and he's now sobbing and had a rash all over his face. His older brother, who was at his dad's at the time, had a dairy allergy and all the symptoms matched. I asked the CM if he's eaten anything yet and she says no. I was kind of suspicious but believed her. We went straight to A&E where it was a confirmed allergic reaction. I phoned up the CM and asked if she was sure she'd not given him anything, honestly not as nicely as I could have, to which she goes on a rant saying kids shouldn't be vegan, it's bad for them, they need nutrients and calcium to grow and you're depriving him of it. Long story short, she'd given him a glass of milk because she thought he needed the nutrients. The next day she sent me a money request for the payment we'd agreed on. I couldn't believe that she had the cheek to send it, but also was trying to charge me for the whole day when he'd been there maybe 40 minutes at most. Obviously I refuse. I then post on a local FB group everything that happened, and now she's threatening to take me to small claims court. Can she even do this? I feel like I should be the one suing her, and has now told my sister until I pay and remove the post she's no longer going to watch her kids either. So my sister gets mad at me too, saying that she needs the childcare and that I'm overreacting and apparently I'm a crazy vegan. Am I the idiot? Am I going crazy? I feel like I'm the only one who thinks that this is a big deal. Not the idiot. She deliberately ignored a specific request and put your children at risk. She doesn't get paid for that. But maybe help your sister find a new caregiver since she was impacted. Don't get me wrong, I don't agree with her comments on the topic, but I think you don't want to damage your relationship with her. I'd be furious in your shoes. Sounds like you sent your kid with food, he wasn't starving, and you told her he was vegan. Even if her concern had been valid, it's reckless to give new foods to a child without consulting the parents for exactly the reason that led to you being in A&E. It was quite far out of her place. I'm not sure if you have medical bills where you live, since it sounds like maybe you're in the UK or Ireland, or Europe, based on some of the language. But if you do, she should be paying the cost since it was caused by her actions and disregard for your instructions, not suing you or demanding pay for work she didn't even do. Not the idiot. You are not the only one who thinks this is a big deal. You gave instructions about your child's diet and provided food. The childminder ignored your instructions and gave your child food that you had specifically prohibited. If this person has a license to watch children in their home, the licensing agency needs to be informed immediately. Your sister might be seriously inconvenienced by being banned, but honestly, why should she want to use a care provider who doesn't care what the parent tells them? Someone who substitutes their judgment for that of the parents is not someone who should be trusted with a vulnerable child.